Hey, it's Eric G. Around the House is sponsored by Baldwin Hardware. For 75 years, Baldwin Hardware has been known for its first-class quality and craftsmanship in door and cabinetry hardware. As an alumnus of the Baldwin Hardware Design Council, I can say I have seen the details and quality from design to the finished product. If you're looking for a new style and old-world craftsmanship, I can tell you there is only one Baldwin Hardware. Check out what would look great in your home at baldwinhardware.com.
It's Around the House. When it comes to remodeling and renovating your home, there is a lot to know, but we've got you covered. This is Around the House.
Welcome to the Around the House show. This is where we help you get the most out of your home through information and education. Thanks for joining us today. Happy midweek special. Well, today I wanted to give a little insight from my perspective on where I think pricing is going to go this year for 2023 and into 2024. And I'm sorry that I don't have some great news for home improvement out there. Well, because, if you take a look saying that just OPEC just announced it's going to do a supply cut of 1.6 million barrels a day, this is going to affect home improvement like it does all the time, because one of the biggest things we deal with is shipping of materials. We'll have products that are made in the South that have to go to the rest of the United States, or the West that has to go everywhere else, or wherever they're coming from. And this ends up directly affecting everything from roofing, which is based on oil, to even kitchen cabinets where I have to take a diesel electric train or a semi-truck. These things add up to lots of money on the job site. Many times when gas prices are high, when you order a set of kitchen cabinets, there'll be a shipping upcharge that will be that surcharge for fuel. And that happens a lot on orders that are placed for materials. So I think right now, with gas averaging in many states, $3 a gallon. In my area, it's over $4 a gallon. And I'm in Oregon. California, $4 a gallon, almost $5. Hawaii, almost $5. Arizona, $4.25. Washington, $4.25. Nevada, $4.25. All of us Western states out here. And we do have less refineries, so that's an issue. But looking at that, we're going to see $4 to $5 gasoline again. And that's going to really hurt our shipping costs out there, which means we're going to see a lot more rises in materials. That can change how lumber is, because it's got to get hauled from a semi-truck down to the lumber mill to everything else. So we just need to be very careful right now. If you're planning some projects out there for summertime and fall, I don't think prices are going to be any cheaper than they are right now. So if you've got a remodel coming out or something like that, I don't think you're going to be worse off by ordering things today. That's my prediction. Of course, I don't have a crystal ball, and I am not one to give financial advice, but here's the thing. It looks like things are going to be getting more expensive versus less expensive. So if you're thinking about getting a roof right now, I'd sure be talking to my roofing suppliers. If you're thinking about doing a deck, it's probably going to be more here in a couple months than it is right now. So keep an eye on it. Now, with new construction coming to a really big halt out there, that's still happening, but there's a lot of people out there that are not able to pay, 6-7+ percentage points on an interest rate right now, compared to the 2.5, 3, 4 that it was just a couple of years ago. That this is going to affect lumber as well, because supply and demand is big with that, but when you add the fuel charges on it, that's where we're going to be. So that's going to really affect a lot of things out there. So those big ticket items like cabinetry, the stuff that takes up mass like that, and of course anything that's based out of oils, so anything that's got a rubber or even just a roofing product, those are things that you're going to have to be very careful with. So keep in mind that this is where we're going to see probably for the next 6 months to a year. I don't think I see anything happening here in the U.S. I don't think that they're going to open up anything to be able to change the gas prices in at least this year. So I would expect that coming forward. So my tip to everybody else out there, if you're getting ready to start a project, I would go out and get those materials today. I would not wait, because right now is the time to do it. And maybe you can get those put away and stored. And guess what? If we can save you some money and get the project going versus having it stop, that's always a good thing. Now, in my 30 years of being in this industry, there's something that I've noticed with our definitely kind of ebb and flow of the economy. I've been through a number of market crashes to recessions and everything else. But one thing that I've noted, and I haven't gone through in my adult lifetime, are interest rates going up this high. But I know that just speaking to my circle of friends, and if you look at that across the country, that when there's a lot of people that have 3 and 4% interest rates out there, generally it's hard for them to make a thing to go out and buy a new house and get a 7% interest rate. So what you're going to see, I think, is those people at least maintaining their homes and being where remodeling tends to happen on homes that are 20 to 40 years old, where roofs and siding and a lot of those basics end up needing remodeled, like bathrooms and kitchens. We have a lot of homes from previous booms that are going to need that coming up. So do I think the remodeling side of things is going to go down? No. Will it reduce some of the remodeling contractors out there that aren't really smart with business or have not run their business correctly or don't have the funding to run their business correctly? Yeah, absolutely. And so those are things you need to be very careful with. And I think we'll see some home builders crash and burn, and that is something as a consumer you should watch out for. This is the time when I start to see home builders, when it starts crashing like this. I wouldn't call it crashing, but coming to a halt. When I see new construction slowing down like this, this is when larger home builders tends to crash and burn, which does a couple things. It can take other suppliers down. So if you are a smaller roofing company, or if you're a cabinet company that's barely making it and you have some main big customers that are getting you through your day-to-day operations, these can really hurt companies that were purely focused on new construction. So keep an eye on the businesses that you're doing business with. It's not going to, Home Depot and Lowe's and those kind of things can really, they can really weather the storm just because that's what they're designed to do. And whether it's new construction or remodeling, there's enough business that'll keep them going. But when it comes down to it, some of the other companies out there you need to be careful with. So just keep an eye out on that. That is something that we'll start to see happen here probably in the 3rd and 4th quarter of this year. You'll start to see some of those companies closing down. And sometimes there are what I call just collateral damage from builders closing up. And I think the way this is going, that's what we're going to see. And, inflation is not helping any of this. And I think that's going to hold off some of the remodeling projects out there. But I think you're going to see as we go, when you start, if you start looking at kind of what people want to do and what need to do, many times people want to do that kitchen remodel and want to do that bathroom remodel, but really they need to be doing that siding and roofing. And so I think that's where you're going to start seeing more projects being done because they need to be done versus they want to be done. And the people that have the money, they can sure do the want projects. But I think the need projects are going to come up on DIY spending because, when you see on the news that people are joking around about using, Easter eggs, using potatoes instead of Easter eggs, we're in a different world right now than we were just 2 or 3 years ago. And so that's something that I think that we need to be very mindful of. So the other thing that I think we're going to see too is we're going to see remodeling projects go to lower cost, lower grade options. And I think that's going to be a big one there. I think that product pricing is going to be a huge deal. I think changing, incomes or basically income to expenses is going to drive that down. And I think that's going to be the really big thing. I don't think we're going to really see our tastes and lifestyles changing, but I think it's just going to be what people can afford. Do I see remodeling demand going? Yes, absolutely. I think it's going to be big, but those are things that we should be keeping an eye on. And oil prices are not another good news for all of this. So that's going to be something that we should just keep an eye out. So in a nutshell, if I was going to put a little bow around this, I think prices are going to go up on materials here for the rest of the year. I think right now we're going to be looking back and go, wow, it was a little bit cheaper in April than it was in July. And I think, I'll stick my neck out and say, if you're thinking about buying materials, now's the time to get them. I don't think it's going to get any cheaper in 2023. Now for recalls this week, we got a strange one. Carhartt recalls men's work pants with hem adjustment cords due to fall hazard. These are sold at Dick's Sporting Goods out there. An elastic drawstring hem near the ankle of the pants can create an extended loop that can trip and make you fall. So make sure and take those back to Dick's if you have those and get your refund. Yeah, that's kind of the wildest one I've seen so far. That's kind of our big recall of the week. Now, coming up this weekend on Around the House, we've got 2 great hours coming up for you. The first one, we're going to talk about the top 10 products that can make your house more comfortable. And I've got some innovative stuff there for you. And then in the second hour, our top 10 safety tips you might have forgotten for your home. And these are some things that many people forget, and it's not on your typical safety list. So we've got that and so much more coming up this weekend. All right, everybody. Well, I got a busy week ahead here, so I got to get going and create some TV, and then I'm going to go out and see some Steel Panther tonight. So I'm looking forward to that show. Hope to see you there. Thanks for tuning in to Around the House. We'll see you on Saturday. Thanks for tuning in.
Undiscovered, anywhere beyond the mean. Life is a love song, let's be lovers. We're all over the radio. Take my hand, I know where to go. All over the radio with you.
Hey, it's Eric G. from Around the House. Are you planning a decking or siding project this year? If you are, you've got to check out my friends at Millboard. Millboard is a completely different kind of composite decking and cladding that enhances outdoor spaces with enduring distinction. Hand-molded from the finest oak, it realistically mimics the natural grain and color of premium hardwood. If you're looking for something that doesn't look like plastic and instead real wood, check out Millboard.com. Make sure and check out that interview we did just a few weeks back. That's Millboard.com.